So if you're clicking on this video, more than likely either you're a cannabis content creator or you're a small business owner looking to market for your cannabis business, and I think this video is perfect for both of you guys. In this video, I'm going to go through 5 ways in which I think that businesses can increase their productivity in terms of the content creating and specifically the video content creating space. I feel like a lot of companies are really underutilizing their potential when it comes to creating video content. Today, I'm going to kind of open up the vault a little bit, give you some of the things that I've developed over a few years of doing this now, and kind of open it up to you guys. A few years might not sound a lot to you guys, but you have to realize content creation for cannabis isn't even a 5-year-old really market at this point. So cannabis content is constantly changing, constantly evolving. Obviously there's the hemp market, there's the cannabis market, all things like that. So why you should listen to me? Here's why. I essentially have been able to have 10,000 on Instagram, 14,000 on TikTok, 16,000 across my YouTube channel. So I've been able to get a cannabis community built across platforms using video primarily, and I feel like I have a few tips for you guys that can really, for those of you who have businesses, really transform your business, and for those of you who are cannabis content creators, really help you get more traction and bring more people into watching your content. I know you guys have probably never seen my face before and you're like, why should I listen to this dude about my marketing? Well, I've been able to do it across platforms. Why I'm doing this is really because I want more cannabis content out there. There are some companies, some really big companies out there, and I'm like, why do you not have more content made? Why do you not have more videos made? Why do you not even have a YouTube channel? Why are you not on LinkedIn? All these things are things I'm going to cover in this video. And if you feel attacked in this video, please do not take it personally. These are things I see across the market after working with 60+ brands. These are things that I see consistently done wrong, and these are things that I really think should be fixed immediately. Afterwards, if you guys have questions, feel free to reach out to me. I can definitely help working with your brand and stuff like that, and help, especially in creating direction for your video content, because that's very important, and helping it be evergreen. And when I say evergreen, be able to make content about your brand, about your products every single day and never run out of ideas. Step 1 is figuring out your message. What are you even trying to say? And so I would start this process by essentially pretending you're being interviewed. If you were being interviewed by me and I was saying, John, what do you think about XYZ company, your company? What do you think your vision is moving forward, and what do you guys think you stand for? I think you should be able to answer that question and be able to give a pretty detailed answer about what your business stands for, and then also getting into why you're doing it, why you feel like what you do is important. And then once you get to that answer, think about, is that answer the answer that everybody would give? Is that answer the general answer? And if it is, that's okay. If the answer is just money, that's okay. If the answer is community, that's okay. If the answer is freeing people from jail, that's okay. But you need to know your why, and you need to understand it for yourself, how your business is moving and why your business is moving. And so for potential cannabis owners, think about what you might sell, where you think you'll make your money. You'll probably be wrong, but where you think you'll make your money, where you think you'll make your profits. And if you currently have a business, think about, where am I making my money? Who is my customer base? Who is going to be listening to me? Who is going to be consuming my products? Think about all these things when you think about what your brand represents, because these are all encompassing of your brand. Your customers, your fans, all these people are a part of your brand. What does your overall brand represent? Step 2, I'll figure this out for you. Just figure out what platforms you're going to be advertising on, or what platforms you're going to be creating content on. I don't want to say advertising. What content or what platforms you're going to be putting your content on. And right now, for me personally, I primarily focus on Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I found these 3 platforms are the best places to put out video content and the best places to grow as any type of cannabis brand, regardless whether that's hemp, regardless of whether that's obviously cannabis, regardless of whether that's all the minor cannabinoids, whatever it is. I think LinkedIn is the best place to grow and the best place to put this video content. Obviously, out of those two, the best places are Instagram and YouTube, and then we'll kind of get into what the next step is after that. Brands really need to focus on these platforms that actually are receptive of cannabis content. You've seen me talk about this before in a video. I think that YouTube is by far the best place to make cannabis content. I think YouTube is by far the place where a brand can get their voice heard the best. That is up for debate, obviously. I've seen it talked about on LinkedIn recently. I've seen it talked about a bunch of places. But I personally think that YouTube, a whole entire cannabis company could be built off of YouTube's marketing only, I personally believe, if it's done the right way and if it's done consistently. We'll get into that later. Alright, in step 3, you need to now remember step 1. You need to now remember step 1. You need to remember your why. You need to remember the culture that you're trying to achieve with your company. And in remembering step 1, now it's time to figure out who's going to create your content for you. Is it going to be you creating your content? Do you want your content to be a community surrounding by you? Do you want to be the main face of your content? And for many people that don't have a large budget, the answer of this should be yes. You should be making your content. And I know there are so many, I've met so many business owners who have a hemp business on the side. They have a regular 9 to 5. They can't be seen smoking on camera. They're too embarrassed, or even if they don't have a 9 to 5, they're too embarrassed. They don't know what their mom's gonna think. They don't know what their cousins are gonna think, whatever. And they want to be kind of 1 foot in the weed business and 1 foot out of the weed business. I get those people. And I've talked to those people a lot, but you do need to think about the business and how much you can thrive while being 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the business. You really need to think about it. And if the reason you don't consume your products is because you don't really like your products, that's a whole nother thing. You now need to realize or need to figure out why you don't like your products and why you sell the products you do. I know a lot of people, that's based off of legality, that's based off of location, that's based off of what the market is asking for. And so if you don't like your products and you don't want to consume your products on camera, which needs to be done, this will bring me to a side point. 1 second, this just turned off. And this brings me to a side point. Video content, people need to be consuming the product. Need to be consuming the product. I don't know how many times on Instagram I see somebody give some model woman with her tits out and a bikini on the product, and there might even be smoke in the air, it might be added in post or whatever, but they're not even like puffing on the product, they're not even smoking the product. That is very strange to me. Like, you have to be finding influencers, you have to be finding people that actually at least like weed, at least are cool with weed, cannabis products, and are able to consume on camera. Like I said, if that's not you, you need to find someone who does, and you need to find someone who preferably matches up with the culture that you're trying to create. And it's going to be a little bit harder because it's not going to be you, and it's more than likely not going to be someone in-house. If it's someone in-house, even better. If you're able to find someone that you feel like speaks well, you feel like represents your brand even better than you can, and you want them portraying you, you need to convince them to start making content, and you need to start brainstorming ideas for content. And I'm going to get to some help for brainstorming ideas for content next. But guys, I can't stress how important it is for people to be consuming your content on the internet. And it needs to be you. It needs to be you. For real. Like, I interview a lot of CEOs, I've interviewed a lot of owners and stuff, and it still amazes me. And this is not to put anybody on blast, but it still amazes me everybody's refusal to consume cannabis on camera in their own cannabis companies. That will never cease to blow my mind. I will never be able to completely understand how that is. Jay-Z and Diddy be having Douce and Ciroc in their hands when they're at an event. Cannabis is really going to be the only market where the people on the top of the market don't consume or use the product like at all. And I'm not saying that people that own alcohol companies are alcoholics. More than likely, and they might be, but they might not be as well. But I guarantee you they're not like against it at all. You know what I'm saying? I would really doubt that owners of porn companies are celibate. you know, and maybe they are, but like, we have to really think about these things and think about what you're portraying on camera when you don't want to consume your own product, or when products aren't being consumed on camera. You have to understand what message that's being given. Like, that person, all right, that person has a product, they're clearly being told to hold it, and they don't even want to consume it. What is that telling the customer? So guys, that's something that you really need to spend good time thinking about, why you don't personally want to be a content creator. And that doesn't mean don't collab with other people, but why you don't want to personally have an in-house content creator or be the content creator in-house for your own brand. You need to give that a lot of thought, and then you need to realize what steps you're going to need to take moving forward to make sure that content is able to be made, because you're not going to be able to survive without some type of content being made, unless you're like in the state of Florida or something like that, where there's only 4 companies allowed and you can't, there's no advertising needed, but then you wouldn't be watching this video. So step 4 is now going to be about how to create content and how to create consistent video content. Like I said, this is about video content. And so a lot of you guys are going to have to start thinking different. I understand the mindset of so many people, because I get hit up so often asking about how can we educate our customers, how can we educate our customers about what our products are, how can we tell them about that. And I do like education, but you have to realize that every single company is asking that. And you also have to realize, think about any other market. People want experiences. People want to understand what they're going to experience on your product, the feeling they're going to get from your product. The feeling is so much more important, guys, than the science behind it. And I'm not saying not to explain that as well, but you can only hammer that home so much. People want to know about the lifestyle, the culture associated with what they're consuming. That is by far the most important thing. And I feel like I might be giving away some information too freely, because I see so many brands making this mistake, and this is a mistake that they will continue to make because they don't have the self-awareness to realize what people actually want to watch. But I am here to tell you that these people want to watch experiences. They want to know what the experience is going to be like, and they want to know what they're supporting when they're buying these products. So you have to create that experience for the customer. And if you come to me, we could talk about how to make those experiences happen and stuff like that. But guys, I'm trying to tell you, you're running out of content and you don't have that evergreen content I was telling you about earlier, because you're trying to hammer home science to these people without ever even telling them what the effects are going to be like, or the experiences, or even about the person who's creating the product. There's so many blank slates, so many blank pieces, and the education part is the only thing that's coming to people. People don't even know who's producing it. People don't even know where it's coming from. People don't even know how it's going to exactly make them feel and stuff like that. All they know is the science. All they've heard is cannabidiol and CBD and these like scientific more names, but they really don't know what's about to happen. So guys, you really have to come from a different perspective, a different lens when you're looking at these things, and it's imperative, or you will follow into the same mistakes that I see all these other companies making, of force-feeding people information that they actually don't want to see. I have written here, stop focusing on the product itself and focus on what the product does, how you live using the product. So this goes back to, if you're the person making content about yourself, think about how you use the product and really be honing in on how you think the customer will use the product, and be able to portray that. Show them, this is how we think we'll use it. This is how I use it. If you watch some of my content, I'm using the things as I go out, as I bike, as I run, when I get up in the morning. I talk about these things in my videos. If you go back and watch some of my content, the time of day I'm using it, why I'm using it, who I think would be the person to use it. Think about it from this perspective, not so much the physical product. The physical product, people can get so many places, but people want to know the feeling that's attached to it. So guys, once again, this is probably too much information that I'm giving out here, but people really need to rethink how they're thinking about the content they're creating, especially in the cannabis space, and especially with how creative you're going to have to be to fight the algorithms, to fight the 18 and up, to fight all that stuff. You're going to have to be creative, and you're going to have to understand your message, and you're going to have to be able to clearly get your message across to the few people that might even come across your content originally, especially if it's 18 and up. So just remember that. And also with that step 4 and learning how to create this content and creating that evergreen content, do habit loops. So if you don't know what a habit loop is, get something to trigger you. For example, if you're gonna have a smoke sesh, turn on the camera and talk and smoke what your product is, whatever it is, consume whatever your product is on camera. And if obviously some people only have edibles, you might not be able to eat edibles every day, but you're going to need to find somebody who can eat that edible. You're going to need to find somebody who can consume that vape, who can do those things. Use it in real time, use it how people would use it in real life, and really show those things. But if you create a habit loop, whoever is going to create your content, if you be like, all right, not every time you smoke, but sometimes you smoke in the evening, just smoke it right now, and then get used to it, and then get used to doing a couple videos, and then get used to having a day where you edit, or get used to doing them live to where you don't have to edit it, but get used to creating this content at least 3, 4, 5 times a week, and it might even become an outlet for you. But what it will become is the people who gravitate towards you, the people who gravitate towards your energy, the people who gravitate towards the energy that your company gives out, well, that will become your customer base. And it'll start helping with SEO also. As you talk about location, you type in location, you put where you're at, or if you ship, you put the company name. This will start to help with your SEO plugs online and stuff like that, with people with familiarity and all those things. YouTube is tightly connected with Google. They're one and the same. So people have to understand these things. You have to get in the consistent habit of putting these things out on the internet, putting the energy from your business out on the internet, and finding a way, whichever way. And I can talk to people about this more. If you want me to make a video about this more in detail in the future, I can. But finding a way to consistently be able to put out content and think about in a creative mind state how you can portray positively your brand out to the public. And step 5 is to have fun. Shit, I see so many people making cannabis content. It feels like cut and dry because they've lost that creativity with it. They've lost the point of the perspective, because a lot of products are the same, and a lot of products people can't think of these creative ways to put it from their perspective, or they think they don't have an interesting perspective and things like that. But have fun. People overall smoke weed to have fun, and I know to pass legalization and shit, people have been like jamming down our throat medical weed and stuff like that, but I promise you forever there will be more people who enjoy it recreationally than medically, just because you have to go through something to get it medically. You don't have to go through anything. You just walk in the store to get it recreationally or adult use. So guys, just always remember that people like these products to have fun, to relax, to chill. So make content for the people who are consuming it. And if you have stuff that's like active and stuff like that, if you want to have stuff that's cool and snowboarding and skateboarding, that's cool too. But that doesn't mean you can just put the product next to a skateboard and lean it up against it and put that on Instagram. You have to make content about somebody smoking and skateboarding and stuff like that. You have to actually do the things that your brand represents, and you have to do it on video. And if you're not, and if you can't do it on video, then more than likely your brand's not actually doing those things. Your brand wants to represent a culture that it's not actually of, and that's inauthentic, and it won't last long. I know I'm being very probably triggering to a few brands out there, or a lot of brands out there who are doing this, but I think this is the kind of like candid conversation someone needs to have with some of these brands about the type of content that they need to put out, or else they're going to get swallowed up by these MSOs and by these big companies that you're going to have to brand against, you're going to have to advertise against to be able to compete. So I want smaller businesses to be able to compete, and you can't lean on politicians to make that happen. If there's a terrain for people to be able to compete, they have to be able to win through content. I think content should be created before the first product is ever received. Before the first product is ever received, before the first inventory ever comes in, I think content should be made from that very point. If you want to learn more about this, let me know in the comments below. You can hit me up if you want to have like personal conversations about this. I probably will start consulting some of this stuff, and it'll be for a very low price, but because I do want to help smaller brands who don't have a lot of capital out. But you got to start thinking about this stuff different, guys. I appreciate you guys coming for another episode. If you want to learn more about what I do, you can check out the Cannabis Library across all platforms. I appreciate it, guys. It's been GP with another episode for you guys. I'll see you guys next time.